Hello, guys. Welcome. So today we have a very special stream. It's going to be the transfer stream, in fact, for players that have been linked with Tottenham Hotspur, and we're going to go through a lot of exciting names. And here with me, we have the brilliant Mark Cousins himself.
Who knows nothing. Who knows nothing, by the way. So you'll be teaching me a lot tonight.
I mean, it's the perfect time to learn. Set up sort of scouting reports, I guess, on a lot of the players we're linked with. There's a lot of exciting names in there. I've kept things fairly realistic. These are based off, the transfer rumors you've heard, like and whatnot. It's nothing like Kylian Mbappe on a free transfer,
Yeah.
Ronaldo to nothing like that.
Yeah.
They're quite realistic names, and yeah, I think it'd be good to go through them. First and foremost, want to thank our Patreon members. You
Yeah.
can read it out, Mark.
Yeah. Mr. Moondog, me, Philip Brady, William Kelly, Wayne Bonner, Aaron Dubb, and you. You're added on now, Izahn.
Yeah.
And you.
Yes.
Right. The link is somewhere.
The link is in the channel description.
Yeah. Yeah. The link is in the channel description. Just click on that and become a patron.
Mm-hmm. So we have some comments here. Carl Simpson in the house. Evening, Izhan. Hope you're well, buddy. Yeah, I'm doing well, man. Thanks a lot. Great to see you as well. Scott in the house. Big up Izhan and Mark. Looking forward to talk about exciting players that Levy won't spend money on. I mean, like I said, we went with some really. I went with really realistic transfers. So maybe one or two of these you could possibly see happening.
That's realistic for me and you, mind. It's not realistic for Mr. Levy. Oh, Carl, and Mark, of course.
Mark, of course. Yep. Big up, Carl. So yeah, I guess we'll just get started. So today we're gonna cover two positions. We're gonna cover the forwards and the midfielders. I have the defenders and the goalkeepers planned for another stream, but today we're gonna go through forwards and midfielders. So we're gonna start off with the forwards. So these are the three names we've been heavily linked with. I'm sure everyone has heard of the likes of Memphis Depay, those rumors floating around. Dybala, we've been linked with forever, and it's been revealed that he's leaving on a free. So, Levy loves a free transfer. He doesn't like spending money. So we could see, Dybala come to Spurs. And this Italian striker in the Serie A, Gianluca Scamacca. He's been having a really good season. We have been linked with him. Maybe you know about him. Maybe you've heard of him. Maybe you don't know anything. Well, I'm going to go through these players one by one, and we'll see. So yeah, first up, we have Memphis Depay. You've heard of him, right, Mark?
Depay? I have heard of him. I have no idea who he plays for. Hang on.
For Barcelona.
Oh, he plays for Barcelona. Oh, yeah. I don't even watch them. So, all right, yeah.
Yeah, he was at United. He was at United.
Oh, of course he was.
A while ago.
Yeah, that was a few years ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has revived his career since being a United reject. Yeah, he has.
Do you think that is because he's gone to, can I say, a slightly lesser league, or can he handle the Premiership? What you've seen of him?
Well, he knocked out Man City in the Champions League when he was playing for Lyon, and he was quite excellent for them in the Champions League. He's been performing at a high level for Barcelona as well. And for the Netherlands as well. So I think he definitely has the ability. He was quite young when he went to United. I think the move came a little bit too soon for him. And now he's been able to flourish. There was, too much expectations on such a young guy coming right into United. But he's given some time to develop, bit of a late bloomer, but it's good to see him performing now. So with Depay, he is quite a versatile player. He primarily plays on the left wing or as a striker. He's also a fairly natural central attacking midfielder. He's right-footed, 28 years old, so right in his prime, 176 centimeters tall. I included his current wages. He's reportedly on 185,000 per week at Barcelona,
There you go.
and his contract expires in 2023. So on Transfermarkt, his value is listed at 45 million, but I've personally estimated his cost at around 25 million. That might be a bit low. It might be 30 million euros, but I think because his contract is expiring in
Yeah,
2023, they won't be able to get this 45 million from him. So I do think this is a very realistic transfer. This is the one forward we've been linked with most heavily.
yeah,
Yeah, the price range makes sense. The wages make sense. The positions make sense. We are looking for a backup striker, and it's an added bonus that he can play on the left as well, so he could cover for both Son and
yeah,
Kane.
yeah,
So I think this would be a very useful signing if it went through. So some key attributes: he's a very good dribbler. He's quite quick as well. He's a pretty good finisher. He has good passing and his versatility. Like I mentioned, he can play a lot
yeah,
of positions. That'll be
yeah,
quite useful.
yeah,
He has some weaknesses. Obviously, aerial duels. So yeah, when he plays as a striker, you're basically gonna have to play him as sort of a false nine. Type of player. He's not the tallest, obviously. He's not going to be winning you headers in the air,
mhm,
but he still provides a lot of quality as striker.
yeah,
Uh, Carl Simpson here definitely would take Depay
and a
and a
different,
different dynamic. Yeah, he would add a different dynamic.
yeah, yeah,
So if yeah, he's a very fast player, so he could add something different to Kane if we're
yeah,
resting him or if we're subbing off Kane.
yeah.
So yeah,
That's the
I have some.
thing.
Yeah,
That
go on.
that is the thing that Harry don't get no rest. But that's always
Yeah,
concerned me. He's not a robot. He
mhm.
needs rest.
And he has a lot of injury issues as well, Kane.
Not so much this year, but we all
Yeah,
know that his ankle's going to go at some stage.
hmm yeah, and I think that if you could have a very good backup striker to him,
Yeah,
he wouldn't go down
yeah,
as much or at
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Uh, Liam in the house says hello, hello Liam.
Hello.
Big up, big up yourself. So yeah, let's go through some stats. So this is from the 2021/2022 La Liga season. So in 22 games, he has 10 goals and 2 assists, which is pretty solid, I would say.
Yeah,
Pretty solid output. His
yeah,
expected goals 9.9. So his finishing is essentially on par. He's not he's not like missing that many chances. He's expected to score right about 10 goals, and he's scoring 10. So that means his
yeah,
finishing is pretty good.
yeah,
However, his expected assists is 3.6. However, he has only 2 assists. So I think that implies that his teammates aren't really putting away the chances that he's
yeah,
setting up for them. So I mentioned as his strengths, his passing, and I do think that he can add a dynamic as a playmaker as well,
yeah.
especially if we want to play with a cam or as a false nine striker. He can definitely play that role. So yeah,
Done that.
long long pass. I have some other stats here that are more in depth. So long passes completed 2.92 per 90, and he attempts 6.79 per 90. So
Yeah,
he does attempt quite a bit of passes, and I wrote down here low completion percentage due to
yeah.
high amounts attempted, but the amounts completed is in the 93rd percentile. So
Oh, is it?
completing 2.92 long passes is in the 93rd percentile. So he's sort of a high volume player. He's not afraid to take risks. So even
Yeah,
though the percentage is quite low, the reason it's low is that he's attempting so many and he is completing quite a few. So it's sort of risk
Yeah.
reward. You'll
Yeah.
lose the ball a lot, but if you can get that killer ball through,
Yeah.
it's very beneficial.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2.26 key passes per 90. This is passes leading to a shot. That's in the 99th percentile. So that's one of the best in
Is
Europe.
it? No.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can he
And
take a free
yeah,
kick? Can he take a free kick?
uh, not I don't rate his free kick ability that much.
Is it better
There
than
are
Harry's? Is it better than Harry
no
Kane?
doubt, no
Yeah,
doubt.
I was gonna say, I'm probably
Yeah.
better than Harry Kane.
Yeah, so Liam says, I like the looks of Giovanni Simeone as a backup striker. Definitely wouldn't complain if we got Depay though. Yeah, look, Giovanni Simeone. In Serie A, he was fairly decent, I believe. But I think Depay is just levels above him, and I think Depay would be a better transfer for Spurs, especially because he can play in that left wing position.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, but yeah, like you said, definitely wouldn't complain if we got Depay. I don't think any Spurs fan would complain.
no,
So yeah, 7.08 progressive carries per 90. That's also in the 99th percentile. And 3.63 progressive passes per 90. That's in the 96th percentile of all. This is compared to all the forwards in the top 5 leagues. So him being this high in the 96th percentile for progressive passes, 99th percentile for progressive carries. That means he is really performing at an elite level.
yeah,
We do have to keep in mind it is in La Liga.
yeah,
Obviously not the strongest league, but then again, it's not like it's a joke of a league. I do think it's quite underrated. We saw Barcelona struggling quite a bit, and even Atletico this season uh, during the initial phases of La Liga. So it's not a joke league. I mean, Villarreal are the Europa League champions. So uh, yeah, I just want to say that it's obviously it's not
yeah.
as strong as the Premier League, but it is still quite a strong league. Yeah, and
It's a lot slower
3.8.
though. It's a lot slower.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not
That's for
as
sure.
like up and in your face as the Premier League.
Hmm. Yeah, 3.81 shot creating actions per 90. That's in the 98th percentile. So this guy is just a creative force,
Yeah,
passing,
good.
dribbling. He can definitely create a lot of chances. We saw against you know against Brighton, we couldn't create anything. If we could bring someone like Depay on, we definitely have some more options and more attacking output. Liam one, did Depay previously
Yeah,
have a stint in the Premier League? I can't remember. Yes, he did. He was at United. He was bought at United. He was touted to become the next big thing. Unfortunately, the United move didn't really work out for him. He went to Lyon, and he got more chances. He had that insane Champions League run with Lyon, where they ended up knocking out Man City, and now he's at Barcelona. So a bit of a late bloomer. Perhaps the Man United move came too early for him, but
yeah.
as of now, he's quite a good player, I must say. Uh,
Would you compare him to someone like, say, who was it that went to Man United? Wilfred Zaha. He went there, and that never worked out either.
yeah,
And he was only
yeah.
very young, and
Hmm. Yeah, with United, we're even seeing this with Jadon Sancho,
yeah,
touted to be the next big thing, and then they get
yeah,
to United, it just doesn't work.
yeah,
I'm not sure, like the coaching staff was different back then. I mean, he played under Louis Van Gaal. The common denominator is the owners. I don't
yeah,
think it's entirely because of United. I think it's just that these players are very talented. They get too much money too quickly. And there's too much expected of them, too much pressure on
yeah,
them to perform
yeah,
immediately. They end up leaving, they go somewhere else, and they start
yeah,
performing. So
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's what happened with Zaha and Depay, and that's a pretty
yeah.
good comparison you brought up actually. So yeah,
I've added something
so
to the show then.
no, no, for sure. I always love like your insights and whatnot. Dude, like
Well,
if
no,
there's
that
anything
was
you want to
just
say.
that was just the first name that popped into my head. Because I remember Sahar going there, and he was only there for what, a year, and
Yeah,
then he went back to Palace.
yeah.
He wasn't there long.
Yeah.
Might have been 2 years or something.
Yeah, and then over here, I also I mentioned one of his weaknesses is pressing. He has 10.06 pressures per 90, which is in the 16th percentile, and this stat is a bit misleading because Barcelona, they have 65% possession in La Liga.
Yeah.
So if you have that much possession, you're not going to be pressuring the ball because you're
No,
not going to
not
be
really.
defending,
No.
right?
No.
So 16, him being in the 16th percentile for pressures is not that much of a concern. But when I compare him to the likes of Firmino and Cavani as well, they have much more pressures, and they also play in teams which have a lot of possession. Maybe it's the nature of the Premier League. I just
Yeah.
feel that being in the 16th percentile is a bit low, even if Barcelona are dominating possession. So yeah, he was never known for being a particularly good presser, but I had to put a weakness there, so I would say pressing is a weakness. He's not
Yeah.
particularly good at it, but I wouldn't say that he's bad or lazy or has a poor work rate.
Yeah. Well, he
In
can be
short.
coached to do that, can't he? He can
Oh
just be
yeah,
coached. Yeah.
yeah. Conte will drill him if he
Yeah.
decides
Yeah.
to come Depay. So yeah, well, what are your thoughts overall on Depay? Yes,
Well,
no,
oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. From what you told me, I mean, we all know we need signings, but we don't need, personally, I don't think we need basic upgrades on what we've already
yeah,
got. We need people that's going to offer something a bit different,
yeah.
you know.
I agree.
So, so say we had him, maybe we wouldn't have lost at Brighton because he could have found his way through. I mean,
Mhm.
that's hypothetical, obviously, but
Yeah, hypothetical, but it's a good
but
point.
yeah, we don't need just better players than what we've got. We need different players.
We need
Basically,
depth.
yeah. And so, if things aren't going right in a game, we can try something else or do something else.
Yeah,
You know,
especially with the forward line, I think the
yeah,
forward line is very much set,
yeah,
but if you could have someone that's very versatile that could cover a lot of
yeah,
positions,
yeah,
let's say Son is having a poor game, you could put him on the left wing and whatnot.
yeah,
There
yeah.
it can add a different dynamic. Uh, Big
Mr.
up,
K,
yeah. Carl Simpson, yeah, with United, Liam. That was in response to Liam, who was
yeah,
asking
yeah,
whether Depay had a stint in the Premier League.
yeah.
Never really worked out and played him out of position. Yeah, that was another reason. With him, Liam, I suppose he's more comfortable. He's more comparable to Lukaku. Left England and did bits overseas, although probably not as prolific as Lukaku at Inter. I would disagree with that because Lukaku was quite excellent for Everton when he was there.
Yeah,
So yeah, with yeah, I think United are just cursed. But yeah, I think they're definitely behind the scenes. There's things wrong at United, but yeah, I do see the point. Young upcoming player has the world at his feet, goes to United, can't really cut it, is let go of, starts performing elsewhere, and then gets a big move eventually.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I think it's more to do with United than anything
yeah,
else.
yeah,
But yeah, I guess we can move on to the next player,
yeah.
unless you have anything else to say.
No, no.
Yeah. So you take him, right? You take the pie.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's not whether I take him. It's what Conte wants. As we were discussing Saturday, it's what he
Mhm.
wants. If he
Yeah. Yeah.
wants him, then yeah, bring him in.
hmm Yeah. I guess it's up to Levy as well if he's willing to provide the budget.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, let's move
you
on.
got to remember, Antonio will probably say, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'd like to look at this Memphis Depay, and we'll get someone like him, but half the price, one for the future, sort of thing."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's normally what
Definitely.
happens.
Yeah. Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can go on to the next player.
Yeah.
Paulo Dybala. We've heard this a million times before as
Yeah.
Spurs fans,
Yes.
but apparently he has made it clear. It's been widely reported that he is leaving Juventus on a free transfer, and of course Tottenham are back in for him. At least that's what the rumors say. I don't know if he's going to join us. I'm not a, I don't, I'm not in the know or anything. This is just from what I've seen, what I've inferred. We're back in for Dybala. A Premier League move could be good for him. Gets a chance to work under a world class manager like Conte. So yeah, I guess this is it is possible. I'm not going to rule it out. Is it as likely as Depay? I would say no, but he is really a top player. Liam here. Low, we'll get another Vincent Janssen mark.
Yeah.
Levy will definitely be counting the beat.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well,
Always
apparently
happens.
if that happens, Conte will walk. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
He'll be off.
Levy has to play his cards very
Yeah.
carefully.
He's got
In
no
this
choice
window.
this time.
Hmm. So with Dybala, he plays mainly as a striker. Similar to Depay, he plays as a false nine or a center attacking midfielder, sort of a playmaker in that number 10 role. So he's basically a false nine or, sort of an advanced playmaker as a number 10. He's left-footed. He's the same age as Depay. He's 28 years old. He's 175 centimeters tall, not particularly tall, so not a conventional number nine. Like I said, he's a false nine. He's currently on reportedly 260 grand a week
Yeah.
at Juventus, and his contract expires this season. And he has made it clear that he is leaving on a free. They
Yeah.
cannot agree to a deal at
Yeah.
Juventus. So at Transfermarkt, his value is at 40 million euros, estimated cost, free transfer, obviously, but he will demand a large signing on fee and
Yeah.
he will have large wage demands. Uh, so yeah, so I don't know if Levy is willing to
Right.
pay
Yeah.
that. Conte, this seems like a player that Conte will want. Paratici worked with him at Juventus. I think he brought him in. At Juventus, Paratici, and this is a player that Paratici seems to really like, and I think Conte would really like him. He's probably seen him do bits in Serie A
Yeah.
and in the Champions League. So if we go through his strengths, playmaking, definitely his number one strength. He can create goals. He can find passes. His vision is excellent. That's definitely the number one thing teams will look for. You need someone creative. You need someone setting up other players. This is your guy. He obviously is an excellent dribbler of the ball. He can get past players. He's very composed on the ball. He's an excellent dribbler. He's he's a good corner kick taker as well. Good free kick taker as well. So he could be a set piece specialist. Finally, I would. He's definitely better at corners and free kicks than Depay or anyone in our team easily. So he could be a set piece specialist, and he's quite a good shooter of the ball. He has some nice long shots, I must say. Dybala. He's a very, very well-rounded player offensively. Weaknesses, aerial duels, not that tall,
Yeah.
but he's a false nine. He's not going to be, that's not his role to win things in the
Yeah.
air. Pace, not the quickest player. I wouldn't say he's slow. He's not as slow as Kane, but then again, compared to most forwards, he's a bit on the slower side. So he just fit that more cam profile more
Yeah.
than a striker. But yeah, and his pressing is not the best, I must say. With Depay, you could say that he has very few pressures because Barcelona have quite a lot of possession. But with Dybala, you can't really defend him because Juventus are not that possession based. So yeah, his pressing is not the greatest. He is sort of like an out and out number 10,
Yeah.
which is sort of being phased away from the game, but he is still quite an excellent player. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
So this season, 24 games, he has 8 goals and 5 assists. this season in the Serie A. One thing I will say is that this has not been his best season. This has been a bit of a down season for him. You could say the same about a lot of Juventus players, including the rejects, Bentancur and Kulusevski. They also were not having great seasons. So I do think it's more to do with the constant chopping and changing of
Yeah.
managers than anything else. That's why players, quality players like Kulusevski and Bentancur have not been performing like they usually do. So yeah, Juventus are in a bit of a rebuild stage as well. So these stats are not really indicative of like a peak Dybala
Yeah.
from of what we might be getting. So in 24 games, he has 8 goals, and 5 assists. His expected goals 7.4. He has 8 goals, so slightly overperforming his expected goals metric. Nothing out of the ordinary. 3.6 expected assists. And he has 5 assists, so his team has been putting away the chances he's been setting up pretty well. But his passing is definitely his strength, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
highlighted it in the stats here. So
Yeah.
6.24 long passes completed, 8.95 attempted per 90. So compared to Depay, he is attempting more, much more, and completing much more. So this
Oh,
guy can really pick out a long pass. 6.24 he's completing, whereas Depay is completing 2.92. Keep in
yeah.
mind, Juventus have 53% possession this season, whereas Barcelona have 65%
Yeah.
possession, and Barcelona are doing much better in the league. So that passing stat is quite extraordinary when you put it into context. You know, so yeah, I mentioned here high volume of passes attempted and completed, long passes completed in the 99th percentile. One of the best passers in Europe, I must say. And this has not been a particularly good season for him as well. It just goes to show how much quality he has as a player. 1.87 key passes per 90, 88th percentile. Key passes is pass leading to a shot. So he is setting up quite a few chances for his team. 4.37 progressive passes per 90, 95th percentile. 5.77 progressive carries per 90, 86th percentile. So that just goes to show his dribbling. 4.58 shot creating actions per 90, which is in the 95th percentile. Shot creating actions is just,
Yeah.
a pass or a dribble leading to a shot. And, Juventus are not the most offensively geared team. They haven't been particularly great this season. They're generally contenders. Now they're fighting for top four. So these stats are still quite at a high level,
Yeah.
despite his team not being, that offensive or playing that well. Yeah, 13.68 pressures per 90, 34th percentile. So Juventus possession is 53%, which can explain the stats.
Yeah.
So him being in the 34th percentile, nothing that it's not that bad, I would say, but Juventus they don't have that much possession, so you think he'd be putting in more work defensively, but it might be due to his role as a number 10. Like I said, this is a down
Yeah.
season for him, yeah, these
Mm.
stats I think are a bit on the low side. In fact, they're quite excellent already, but I think they are in the low side because this Juventus team has not been at their best.
No.
So yeah,
No.
what are your thoughts on him? I know we've been linked with him forever.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
what are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah. Well, just the free kick thing. Bring him in. And the
Just
and the
just
yeah,
just based on
just
the
for the
set
free
pieces.
kick thing. Just for the free kick. But is this the guy that's always injured?
Yeah, he does have
He gets a lot
injury
of injuries.
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He has struggled with injury issues
Yeah. Yeah. I was
in
gonna
the
say
past.
I forget who's it might have been Iggy. Iggy done a stream on him and he said when we were linked with him a month ago or 2 months ago, and he said he's for a 38 game season, you might get him for 20 games. And
Well,
that's about
he's
it.
already played 24 games this season.
Yeah,
So
whatever. Well,
yeah,
and I take it they're up around the same games as us in Italy.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Sort of 30. So
Uh,
he's
yeah,
missed probably what a quarter of the games,
yeah, yeah. I'd
maybe.
say so.
Yeah,
About a quarter.
yeah. I mean, do you want someone coming in on 200 plus £1,000 a week? All right, everyone gets injured, but
Hmm.
well, personally, I think the boat sailed with this man when we should have got him the first time
Yeah,
three
with
years
the
ago.
what was it? The rights, the image rights or
Yeah,
something,
yeah, it
right?
was something to
That
do
was
with
the
his image
issue.
rights. When we weren't, we
Yeah,
was it something like 17 or 18 or maybe 20 million, and we weren't going to pay that as well, so we
yeah.
didn't get him.
Yeah, something it was something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of comments here coming up, so
Oh,
let's read them. Liam here. I know Dybala is highly rated and has lots of experience, but I swear every time I watch Juventus, he comes across as hot hair. But you can't really deny he's been there and done it, scoring in the Champions
yeah,
League.
yeah,
Um. So yeah. He has been having a down season this season, so that might be why you're seeing him as nothing but hot air, but he's done it in the Champions League, he's done it in the Serie A. He's a winner, like he's won the Serie A quite a few times. He's been there, done that. The quality is undeniable, and this is a player that Paratici likes. I think Conte likes
yeah,
him as well. He's seen him
yeah,
in Serie
yeah,
A. So this is a guy that we should be going after, especially because we need a set piece taker. Yeah, he's been there and done it, scoring this champion, yeah, and winning trophies. Yeah.
yeah. Jack.
Saying
Oh, all right.
hi.
Yeah,
He's talking to Jack.
yeah.
Yeah. Catman Jazz, pick up
Big
Jack.
up
By
Jack.
the way, all of us are typing Izhan instead of is. Oh, no, the H comes first. Izhan. Liam, you got it right the first time. So yeah, yeah, big up Jack. Um, yeah, big up Zoe, Carl Simpson. We have Ellie as well. Hey, Izhan
Oh,
and Mark, big up you guys, and big up your analysis of the players we may sign. Yeah, it
well,
took
hang on a
me, yeah,
minute.
yeah, it took me a little while to come up with all these attributes and whatnot, and look at the stats. Find the wages was actually quite difficult because a lot of it's it's
Yeah,
it's not publicly out there, so
yeah,
it is a bit of an estimate. But I tried my best. I think I've got them fairly accurate. So yeah, we have Liam talking to Jack. Big up everyone in the chat. Yeah, for sure, Dermot. Okay, let's go on to
yeah,
the third guy. Um, so this is a player that I don't think a lot of people have heard of, but we have been linked with him. Paratici seems to like him. He has been having quite a good season this year. So this guy, he is a pure out and out striker. He's a traditional striker. He's right footed. He's young. He's 23. He's quite tall, 195 centimeters. He's only on 17K per week. He recently signed a new deal. He was on even less than that prior to this. His contract expires in 2026. The transfer market value is at 30 million, but my estimated cost will be that it will cost around 40 million euros because he recently signed a contract
yeah,
that might be a bit high, but I think that's fair for him. So if we look at his strengths, he's quite a good finisher, and I have some stats to explain that. He's very good header of the ball,
yeah,
and obviously that ties in with his strength in aerial duels. He's quite tall. He's almost like the Italian Chris Wood. You can put him up there. He could offer
yeah,
something different to Kane. He can win a lot of balls in the air and whatnot, and he's quite strong. You can't bully him off the ball. He's a really strong guy. Some weaknesses, pace. I wouldn't say he's particularly slow. He's definitely faster than Kane, but not the quickest, I would say. But by no means is he very slow or anything. He's quicker than Kane, I will say. Versatility. He can only play as a striker, but if we're going to bring him in as a backup striker,
Yeah.
shouldn't be too much of an issue.
No.
And link up play, he's not the type of striker to drop deep. He's not like a Firmino or anything that's
Mm.
gonna drop deep and ping a pass or anything. He's very much like a Chris Wood or a like a Peter Crouch type, I would say. He's gonna sit
Yeah.
up front and he's gonna bang in goals, win ball in the air. He's gonna hold up the ball. Very, very traditional number 9, I must say. So sorry. Uh yeah, so he has in 31 games, he has 13 goals, 0 assists. Like I said, he's a very traditional
Yeah.
striker. His expected goals is 8.9. So he has 13 goals when he's
Yeah.
expected to score only 9 goals. That implies he's a really good finisher of the
Yeah.
ball. And his expected assists is 1.8. And he has 0. His teammates don't seem to be putting away his chances. I did mention link up play as one of his weaknesses, but as a traditional striker, expected assists of 1.8 is not that bad considering the team he plays for. He plays for Sassuolo, not the greatest team in the Serie A. So yeah, he has been having quite a good season, I must say. He's won 55% of his aerial duels, 92nd percentile. That's his strength. He can win the ball in the air. 2.34 progressive carries per 90, 28th percentile. He's not much of a dribbler.
Yeah.
He's not like a Dybala or a Depay.
Yeah.
He offers something completely different, which could be useful. 1.32 progressive passes per 90, 43rd percentile. Big up Liam. So yeah. Um yeah, he's in the 43rd percentile. So it's not that bad considering the team that he plays for. And like I said, he's not much of a dribbler. So him or he's not much of a passer, but maybe it is a bit underrated considering his expected assists. Maybe his passing is a bit underrated, I must say.
Yeah.
Yeah, 0.76 tackles won per 90. That's in the 90th percentile of all forwards. So he is a hardworking guy. Like unlike
Yeah.
Dybala and Depay, who aren't particularly the best pressers, this guy he will run himself into the ground to defend from the front. So yeah, he has 0.21 goals minus expected goals per 90. So this is what I was mentioning, how he has 13 goals, but his expected goals is 8.9. So per 90, he's outperforming his expected goals by
Yeah.
0.21, which would put him in the 92nd percentile of all finishers in Europe. So he is quite a good finisher of
Yeah.
the ball. And yeah, 15.37 pressures per 90, 61st percentile. Sassuolo possession is 55%. So they are a possession based team. And the fact he has this many pressures means he's a hard working guy. He has a lot
Yeah.
of tackles too. So he
Yeah.
is good at winning the ball up front. He's very hard. He's like a
Yeah.
Chris Wood. He's a hard working guy. He'll hold up the ball, he'll win the ball in the air. He's a very good finisher as well. What are your thoughts on him? We have been linked with him, so yeah. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts, Mark?
Yeah. Well, what you said about, I mean, he's when he wins the ball back and that, do you think that's because he's 23 years old and he's still a youngster
Yeah,
rather than
he's a youngster.
28? Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, his stats seem quite good. I've never actually heard of him, to be honest. But
Oh
like,
yeah.
so who do you say he plays for? Sassuolo or something?
Sassuolo. Yeah.
Sassuolo. So are they? Have they got, what did you say it was, 55% possession? I take it
Yeah.
they're about a mid-table team or just
Yeah.
above mid-table.
I think they're mid-table. I think they're like
Yeah, ish.
9. They're
Maybe.
10th. Yeah, they're 10th.
Yeah,
They're 10th.
yeah,
So
yeah. So
exactly
that's,
mid-table.
yeah, that's right on midway. Yeah, well, I mean, and he's young as well. I mean, you're
Mhm.
not going to, well, um, I mean, as a backup to Harry Kane, bring him in.
Yeah.
Let him
The
have the,
price. Yeah.
let him
Go
have
ahead.
the let him have the League Cup games and the FA Cup games, and God forbid Harry turns his ankle over, then we got someone there. Yeah, I got nothing against. I don't know nothing about him, but but these stats make him look good anyway.
No, he is good as a
Yeah.
player. He was recently called up to the Italian national team as well. So he is
Fair play to him.
performing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the wages work as well. He's on 17K a week, reportedly, which is pennies.
Well, that's the biggest thing. That's right up Daniel Levy's alley.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't think
17K a week. Yeah, Christ. Yeah. Well, I'm surprised he's not been on the phone to him already. Been off him 15 or something.
Yeah. With Dybala, I do like him as a player, but he has those really massive wage demands, and he's gonna want a huge signing on fee.
Yeah.
So this a guy like this would really work, and he'd offer something different. We don't really have an aerial threat in our team. We're not really dangerous from set pieces. This guy could definitely do the business for us.
I was going to say, was the last goal we scored, was it the winner at Watford or?
Yeah, I think it was.
It was a defender.
Or the Davies header as well against
Newcastle. Yeah. But we certainly don't score a lot of goals from corners, do we?
Yeah. No, we don't. We don't score a lot from set pieces. That's partly because we don't have a set piece taker, but we don't really have an aerial threat either.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this guy would definitely fit the bill. He's a hardworking player. He's young. He's relatively inexpensive. And he's a good finisher. He's not just like Chris Wood, who can only win the ball in the air. He's good with his feet. He can
and he's just been called up for Italy. Obviously, we won't talk about how good they were, especially after the summer.
Yeah,
we'll just bypass that bit.
Mm-hmm.
But if he can get in the Italy, if he get in the Italian first team, he can't be too bad.
No, definitely not. And he's been performing well this season.
Yeah, he's obviously not their main striker. I take it he's just in the squad, is he?
Yeah. He's not the main striker, but
sure.
So yeah. Should we move on?
Yeah.
And next time we have so these are the midfielders we've been linked with. We've been linked with Barella, but that's like a wild pipe dream. So I didn't bother to include be more realistic here. More of a Levy budget sort of thing. But the first guy we have here, Nicolo Zaniolo, he's been touted as a top talent in all of Serie A. This guy is very, very talented. He has a lot of upside. He has all the skills to become possibly a world-class player in the future. And this is a common opinion. This is not just my opinion. This is a very common opinion that this guy, if developed properly, he could be a top player in all of Europe, one of the top players, one of the top midfielders at least. So his primary position is a center attacking midfielder, number 10. He also plays in the center mid role. He also plays right wing quite often, naturally. And sometimes he plays as a striker. I put striker in asterisk. That's not really his natural position, but he has played there quite a few times. I think in his last game, he did play as a striker under Mourinho. He's left-footed. He's only 22 years old, and this is why people rate him so highly because of his young age. He's quite a tall lad, 190 centimeters. His wages, 90K per week, nothing crazy, quite low. Contract expires in 2024. Transfer marked, list him at 33 million. I think it's just low because he had a few injuries. This season hasn't been the best for him. Estimated cost, I put it at 70 million euros. And that might be low, to be honest. That might be
low. That's low.
Because,
that's low, is it?
I'd say Roma would be willing to let him go for 50 million pounds, considering we spent more for Ndombele. This is possible. We have been linked with him. Both Conte and Paratici tried to get this guy at at Inter or Juventus, I believe. Um,
Yeah.
so they both rate him highly. I think Paratici definitely tried to get him into Juventus. Juventus are linked with him currently, and they are willing to pay, I think, 60 million pounds for him.
Yeah.
This guy, he is quite a top talent.
And so, in all
At,
fairness, then he's going to Juventus. If they're
huh?
going to offer £60 million, we're not offering nowhere near that, are we?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Juventus did spend quite a lot of money in the winter transfer window.
Oh.
They bought Dusan Vlahovic for 70 million.
Oh, of course they do.
So I don't know if they have a lot of money left to spend. I don't know if they're willing to spend it.
Yeah.
Maybe they see him as a Dybala replacement. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe. Maybe.
and maybe Zaniolo wants to move to the Premier League and to play under Conte.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's about the only. I mean, of all these players so far have been in Italy, haven't they? Has there been any
Yeah.
that's not? Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, like,
No, Depay is at Barcelona. But
of
yeah,
course he is. Of course he is.
but
I forgot that.
we
Yeah.
have
Yeah. Yeah.
been linked mainly with Serie A players because
Yeah.
that's
It
where
is.
Paratici and Conte have
Yeah.
most of their knowledge and their contacts. So yeah.
Anything you see on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, wherever you go, and
Mhm.
we're linked with anybody, it's all Serie A
Yeah.
players. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like, well, yeah, you never know though, do you? I mean, it's a different
Mhm.
league, isn't it, than our league.
Yeah.
You know, it's certainly not as fast or as physical.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
but it's still quite. I think it's the second best league in my
oh,
opinion.
is it?
Serie A is the
Is it?
second best
Yeah,
league.
I'll
Yeah.
be honest, I don't watch a lot of it.
In terms of quality, I would say Serie A is the second best league overall.
Ah,
And
yeah,
yeah, this season is quite exciting. That there's three title challengers. The gap between like fourth and like sixth is quite small. I mean, it's quite exciting league to watch this year, I must
ah,
say. Serie A. Ever since Conte broke the Juventus monopoly,
yeah,
Serie A has been quite exciting, I must say.
yeah,
And
yeah,
they are the second highest scoring league out of the top five leagues, behind Bundesliga. So it's very entertaining. I highly
ah,
recommend everyone to watch Serie A, especially if you're a Spurs fan, because there are a lot of players there we
yeah,
were linked with.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
that's that's like sort of my homework for everyone. Go watch
yeah,
Serie A. So yeah, let's move on to some of his key attributes. So his strengths: dribbling. This guy's an excellent dribbler of the ball. He can get past players. He's also quick. You sort of you combine the pace with the excellent dribbling, and you're gonna get some player. He's also an
yeah,
excellent playmaker. He can do it all. Like that. This is why people rate him so highly as such a top talent. Passing, dribbling, pace. He's tall as well. He really has everything going for him as a player. He has a high work rate as well. He's willing to run himself into the ground for any manager, whether it be Mourinho or Fonseca. He's always been known as a hard worker, and he's versatile. He can play center attacking mid, center mid, right wing, even as a striker. You can play him if you need to, but he can play a lot of positions, and he has everything going for him. And this is why I put the cost at 70 million euros.
yeah,
Because he is such a top talent. He has all the attributes. He just needs one breakout season, and that's it. And there's a reason why the likes of Juventus have been linked with him. He's an excellent player. The one thing holding him back, injuries. He has dealt with quite a few injuries in the past. That's the one thing holding him back, including this season. He hasn't been at his best this season. There's just been injuries. But yeah, other than that, aerial duels. He's a midfielder. Not really the biggest concern. He is tall, but he's still not that good in the air. And his finishing, according to the expected goals metric, isn't that good, which is why Mourinho doesn't really play him all too much. Doesn't start him. He mainly comes off the bench, plays a game here and there. He's not a regular starter for them. But that's just most likely this season. His finishing hasn't been the best. This season hasn't been particularly amazing for him, but that is due to him probably dealing with some injuries. So yeah, 25 games, 2 goals. He has 1 assist, 4.6 expected goals, 2.2 expected assists. His teammates haven't been putting away the chances, but he himself hasn't been putting away the chances. And Roma, in fact, have the third most shots on target in all of Europe, and they really should be scoring more goals than they do. I know Mourinho is known as a defensive manager, but at Roma, he has them playing quite attacking football. And yeah, Roma, they haven't been putting away their chances. They are a bit reliant on Tammy Abraham to score goals for them. But yeah, this trend of Roma players underperforming their expected goals is like all across the board. So yeah, long pass completed 2.57 per 90. He attempts 4.45. So high volume of passes attempted. High volume completed. Long passes completed is in the 79th percentile. It's not the highest because they don't play possession based. Roma don't play as possession based as they used to. So you take that these stats like sort of inflate them a bit. It's mainly due to the style as well that his stats have gone down a bit. 1.09 key passes per 90, 52nd percentile. 2.57 progressive passes per 90, 79th percentile. 6.47 progressive carries per 90, 90th percentile. So, like I said, his strength, his dribbling, definitely that is his best attribute. 3.56 shot creating actions per 90, 83rd percentile. This guy, he can create with his dribbling and his passing. His passing stats obviously aren't the highest, but I think that is more due to the style of play of Roma more than his own ability. And yes, 17 pressures per 90, 74th percentile. So this guy is just simply a hard worker. Her hard worker. Roma have 51% possession, around average. Yeah, high work rate, and it deflates the offensive stats just a little bit. Roma don't play as possession based as they used to. They don't play as attacking as they used to under Fonseca. But yeah, this guy, he is still a top talent, and the
Yeah,
stats you just need to take them with a little bit grain of salt for them being lower. It's more due to the style of play than anything
yeah,
else. And this
yeah,
is a down season as well for him, so his
yeah.
actual best is not reflective in these stats. So yeah, what are your thoughts, Mark?
Well, for 70 million, we definitely ain't getting him. Let's
Yeah,
face
yeah.
it. No, no, no.
Hmm.
Well, it depends if he wants to come to this country. If he wants to come to this country, but like, he's is he actually Italian? His
Yes,
name's
yes, he
saying
is Italian.
he is Italian. Well, if
Yep.
Juventus come calling, then you're going to go there, aren't you? To
Yeah.
be honest, you said Juventus was after him.
Hmm. Juventus
Um.
were after him.
Oh, all right. Well,
But
but
another thing, Juventus are dealing with potential of financial fair play issues
oh, are they?
regarding their hard. Yeah, they have a large wage,
Uh,
like large wage bill.
yeah,
And they made some big signings over winter. Dusan Vlahovic
yeah,
is the
yeah,
big
yeah.
one.
Vlahovic.
So I'm not sure if they're willing, because Roma themselves are not like a small team. They are quite
No,
a rich club. If you look at their transfer expenditure, it's quite large over the past 10 years. And they are not willing to let this guy go for cheap. And I think we would actually have a bigger budget than Juventus in the summer. That sounds
yeah,
surprising, but based on their financial fair play issues and the signings they've
yeah,
made in the winter window, I don't think they're willing to spend this amount. Uh, and there are some rumors of him falling out with Mourinho. Personally, I don't think they're true. Mourinho still plays him quite a bit. But yeah, the price you have to
yeah,
pay for quality is
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'll
Of
say.
course you do. Of
Yeah,
course you do. Yeah,
and yeah,
but
this
that,
this
but
guy. Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
no, no. I was going to say it's that 70 million that gets me. Can you see us? Unless someone. Oh, what's this score?
Chelsea and Arsenal.
I
Yeah,
didn't
one
realize
one.
it.
German posted them.
Whoa.
Everton, Leicester, 1. Newcastle Palace 0-0. City, Brighton 0-0. All right. Chelsea, Arsenal 1-1. That's surprising. Let's
Yes.
hope Chelsea. Let's hope Chelsea come away with a win. That would
Yeah.
really help us.
What's that? Half an
I.
hour gone. 25 minutes.
Mhm.
25 minutes
Uh,
gone. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
For that price tag, I can't see him coming here. To be honest, that's
Hmm.
about the only one. You know, well,
Yeah.
it's like I keep saying, if Conte wants him
Yeah.
and he can twist
Uh,
Daniel's arm, twist it
mhm.
several times, then yeah, get him in.
Yeah, I
You know,
definitely take him. I definitely
yeah,
take him for this price. He like I would not be surprised if he went to Juventus, he went to Real Madrid and
yeah,
just turned into one of the best midfielders in the
yeah,
world. I would not be
yeah,
surprised. He is
yeah.
really a top talent. So yeah, let's move on to the next guy. Leandro Paredes. We've been more heavily linked
Oh,
with him than almost any other midfielder. Um, so yeah, I believe in the winter window, we were linked with him. It was we were linked with him, Bentancur, Amrabat. He was one of the names in a potential swap deal for Ndombele. We are still linked with him. PSG have I've heard that they've decided to get rid of all their Argentinian players, like Messi. They want to get rid of Pochettino as well.
oh,
Like the manager, like everyone from
yeah,
Argentina, they want to get rid of Di Maria as well. They're either too old or not good enough. Paredes, I personally think it's a very quality player, and getting rid of him for pennies is almost as bad as Juventus getting rid of Bentancur.
yeah.
So, yeah, let's just go through him. I mean, he's a player for PSG. He must be good. He's a regular starter. He's not a
Oh, is
bench
he?
warmer like Aurier. Yeah, he is a starter for PSG. He's their second best midfielder, I would say,
Yeah, well,
behind Verratti.
yeah,
Yeah, so he's right-footed. His position center mid, CDM. Those are the two positions that he plays. Nothing out of the ordinary. He's right-footed. 27 years old. He's in his prime. 182 centimeters. Wages surprisingly not that big. 173K per week. Most PSG players are on inflated wages. Him not so much. Contract expires in 2023. Transfer market value is at 20 million euros. My estimated cost is at 35 million euros. I think that is a bit high. I have been quite conservative with the estimated euros. I think we could probably get him for 30 million euros, maybe a bit less than that. His contract is expiring, so maybe 35 million is a bit high. I think maybe 28 million or 30 million euros, we could get him. PSG seem to want to offload him, so maybe that would reduce the estimated costs. But personally, in terms of ability, I think he's worth quite a bit more than 35 million euros. I would say he's worth maybe 50 million euros in terms of ability. So if we look at his strengths, press resistance, this guy does not lose the ball. He's very composed. He has very good decision making. He plays as that single pivot in a 4-3-3,
mm,
like how Fabinho does at Liverpool or Rodri at Man City. I'd say he is more technically skilled on the ball than Fabinho, but he's better physically than Rodri, but less technically skilled. So he's sort of the best of both worlds. He is on their level, like he's on the level of the Fabinho and Rodri. He's an excellent player, a very very top class player. His passing is brilliant. You have to be very technically skilled to play as a single pivot in a 4-3-3, especially for PSG. He's excellent. He's a hardworking player. He has that South American, that Argentinian grit
mm,
to him. He's a very hardworking player. He can also take free kicks and corners. Maybe not
oh,
as good as Dybala, but he is a good set piece taker. He is a very well-rounded player. That's another one of his strengths. I probably should have added. He can do it all basically. His only weakness, injuries. I guess he has dealt with injuries, not to the extent of Dybala, but it's a bit of a concern. I had to put something as a weakness, but he's just that good of a player. And his attacking output, maybe I put a question mark. He's a defensive mid. Maybe on his stats, you could say he's not generating enough offense, but he's a defensive midfielder. That's not really his role. But I had to put a weakness. Maybe his attacking output is not as good. 15 games, 1 goal, 2 assists.
That's
His
not too bad.
expected goals is 0.3, 0.3. He has 1 goal. Nothing out of the ordinary, I would say. He has 2 assists from 0.2 expected assists. I think that's just due to the fact that he's on such an amazing team, PSG,
Yeah, yeah,
and they're not playing in the best league, so he doesn't have to
mm,
set up such amazing chances for his teammates to put away. They can put him away quite easily. Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, but yeah, that's not really his role to create chances. His role is to bring the ball up, link up play between the defense and the attack, I'd say. So long passes completed, 10.63 completed. He attempts 12.03, which is quite ridiculous. He has a high volume of passes attempted and a high volume completed. He's in the 95th percentile of long passes completed per 90. He is, like I mentioned up there, he's an excellent passer of the ball. 0.64 key passes per 90, 42nd percentile. It seems a bit low, but when you consider he's the defensive mid, he's in the middle of the 4-3-3. He's a defensive midfielder. That is quite high if you're generating that many key passes. 5.8 progressive passes per 90, 85th percentile. Once again, he's the link between the defense and the attack. It is somewhat of a player that we've lacked. He can play the deep lying playmaker role. He's good on the ball. 5.48 progressive carries per 90, 76th percentile. Like I said, he's composed. He can bring the ball up. He's not an attacking midfielder. He's a defensive midfielder, which is why I would say this progressive carries and progressive passes is a bit lower than, in the 95th percentile. But he does have the ability. 2.36 switches per 90, 75th percentile. He can switch he's a deep lying playmaker. He can switch the play. He could spray balls to our wing backs and, our wingers. He's quite excellent at that. He has 12.03 pressures per 90. That's in the third percentile. And the reason, I mentioned that he has good work rate, but he's in the third percentile for pressures doesn't make much sense. But the reasoning I have it here. PSG have 63% possession. They're utterly dominant in the league. You don't need to defend. You have
yeah,
that much possession. You're looking to score 4 or 5 goals.
yeah,
Your opposition is not that strong. That's why the pressures is quite low.
yeah,
Against a team like Real Madrid or Man City, he's obviously going to have to defend a bit more.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that that's for these stats are for League One. So yeah, what are your thoughts on Paredes?
Do you, yeah, because he's at PSG, do you think them stats are a bit overhyped because of
Yeah,
just
yeah,
the team he's in? Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah,
Um,
I mean, this is the area really we do need sort of bolstering, like midfielders, definitely.
mhm.
So,
Yeah,
well, I mean, his stats all seem quite good, don't they?
mhm. Yeah.
But,
Uh,
but is it just the fact that he's looking so good because he plays for PSG? I really
but
don't know nothing about him, honestly.
but then again, if you see him in the Champions League, he performs there as well against the likes
Oh,
of
does he?
Real Madrid, Man
Oh, does he?
City. When
Yeah.
when PSG smashed Man City 2-0, Paredes played a real big part. And in that
Oh, did he?
1-0 win, PSG over Madrid, Paredes really bossed the midfield, I must
Uh,
say. He is, and he's an Argentinian international as well, so he's quite an
yeah.
excellent player.
And, and, and,
Paredes.
and, and so why do you think PSG are trying to get rid of all the Argentinians?
I have no idea. This is just
No,
a rumor
no,
I've
that sort of
heard.
confused me a bit when you said that.
Yeah, this is just a
You
rumor
know,
I've heard.
yeah,
I could understand them getting rid of Messi. He's
well,
old.
yeah,
He's
he's,
on huge
yeah,
wages as well. I could
yeah,
understand them getting rid of Di Maria. Same reasoning, huge wages, and on quite up there in age.
yeah.
Paredes, I'm not sure that PSG are actively looking to get rid of him.
Oh,
I
all
think
right.
maybe he just wants to move away somewhere
Yeah,
else because
yeah,
PSG as a club they are not run that well. There have been lots
no,
of reports of very shady things going on
yeah,
at
well,
PSG,
yeah,
and a very toxic dressing room environment. So I could
yeah,
understand why a player like him wants out.
yeah,
There was also I heard there was also bust ups in the PSG dressing room because the likes of Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi would not put any effort in defensively. They would not track back at
uh,
all. They would just
yeah,
jog, and they felt
yeah,
the manager would just give them free reign to do so because they were
yeah,
star players. Too big for the team.
yeah.
Paredes, he's a hardworking guy. Maybe he dislikes that.
Hmm.
That's another possibility, possible
Yeah,
theory.
yeah,
But if Juventus wanted to get rid of Bentancur, and we got a really good player. If
yes.
PSG want to get rid of this guy, I'd gladly take him.
Oh, all right. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
if you say you take him, then bring him on, bring him in.
yeah,
What did you say his price was again? 35
estimated
million.
cost 35 million. I think it'd be yet less than that. His contract expires in 2023. I just made
Oh, right.
I just made a conservative estimate,
Oh, all right.
a bit
Yeah,
higher than
yeah,
usual. I
yeah,
could see like 30 million euros, maybe even less than that, to be honest.
yeah, yeah. But yeah,
Right.
well, that's doable for us, isn't it?
Yeah, and the wages aren't anything out of the ordinary
No,
as well.
no.
So this is a player that we've been linked with him. So this is a player that I could see
Yeah,
us getting. He has
yeah.
experience as well. He's a Copa America winner. He's a Ligue
Oh,
1 winner. He's played at the highest level in the
yeah.
Champions League finalist as well, I must say.
Oh,
Yeah. So
yeah.
he's experienced and he's a class player.
Yeah,
Yeah, there is one name. This is actually my favorite out of the midfielders. Believe it or not, he's also the least well known. Um, and this is the guy I would take if you had to give me a choice. This is the guy I would take because I just feel Zaniolo is a bit unrealistic. The price tag. But yeah, so Boubacar Kamara. He's a French player. He plays it for Marseille in Ligue 1. His positions are central defensive mid and center back, and he does play center back quite regularly. He's a very good young player. He's 22, like Zaniolo, 178 centimeters in height. The wages he's on currently 51K per week, quite low. His contract expires in 2022. He has made it clear that he's leaving on a free this season. Um, Transfer marked value 25 million euros. My estimated cost, I put him at free transfer, larger signing on fee because of no, there's no transfer fee, so he'll take a larger signing on bonus.
yeah,
Yeah, and this guy has a lot of talent. I must say, he's 22 and he's versatile. That's what I like about him because he can play center back that naturally as well. He can play center defensive mid or center back, so he can
yeah,
cover both those positions. I feel on the right side of a back three, he'd be really good. If you shift Romero to the center and him on the right, he's very good on the ball and he's quite an excellent player and quite talented. The likes of Man United have been linked with him, and he's good. Like if United and whatnot are after him, he
yeah,
must be a good player.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, in terms of his strengths, his passing is quite good. Versatility, he can play CDM and center back. Those are two positions we need. Why not get two in one as a player? So he could cover for CDM, he could cover for center back, sort of like Depay. He could cover for a striker left wing. This guy could cover for two positions that we desperately need. He's a hardworking young player. He always gives it his all. Like he's made it clear he's leaving, but he still works hard. Uh, uh, he gives it his all for Marseille, and his defending. He's a very good defender. His defensive technique is quite good. His technique on the ball and off the ball is very good. He's a technically skilled player. His weaknesses I put as strength. He is kind of skinny. He can get pushed off the ball a bit easily from what I've seen, but that's sort of clutching at straws to find a weakness. To be
yeah,
honest, he's just a very well-rounded, very technically gifted player, and I think that's where he excels. He's not very physically dominant, but he is technically quite gifted. So yeah, not just with the ball, but defensively as well. So he's played 28 games this season. He has 1 goal. His expected goals is right at 1. He has 0 assists. His expected assists is at 1. Um, he plays for Marseille as a CDM. So similar to Paredes, um, although his passing ability is quite good, it may not be reflected as much in the stats due to the defensive mid role that they play. In a 3-man midfield, they play as the singular defensive pivot. So you're not going to get forward as much.
Yeah.
So if you look at his long passes completed, 8.72 per 90, and he attempts 11.36. High volume of passes attempted and completed. So long passes completed is at the 87th percentile. He's quite a good player. 6.12 passes into the final third. Per 90, that's in the 86th percentile. So he can play as a deep lying playmaker. He can spray those balls in from a very deep role.
Yeah.
So this guy, and if you lose the ball in transition, this guy can win it back for you as well. 4 progressive passes per 90, 57th percentile. I think that's more due to his role and whatnot of being a defensive mid. We saw that with Paredes. Marseille are obviously not as strong of a team as a PSG, so these numbers are a bit deflated. But they both play similar roles. 4.36 progressive carries per 90, 59th percentile. 2.6 switches per 90, 78th percentile. So you could see that he can definitely spray in a long ball with his switches, his long passes, completed passes into the final third. He's not so much as a ball carrier, but I don't think we need that at Spurs. I think someone who could spray in a long ball is much more useful, especially finding Son, Kulusevski, Region on the overlaps. 15.48 pressures per 90, 22nd percentile. But Marseille, they're second in the league, and they have 61% possession. So him having this many pressures is actually quite a bit for a team that's with that much possession and that dominant in the league. It's basically PSG and everyone else. Marseille are quite a bit behind, but there is a huge gap between Marseille and the rest of the teams in Ligue 1. So it's not like he plays for a dross team or anything. But he's quite an excellent center defensive mid. Can play center back as well, and this is why he's my favorite player out of these lot. He's quite versatile. He can do it all, and he's technically very gifted. He's young. He's on a free contract. The wages make sense, and this is the player that I would take at Spurs. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, well, from what you've said, very good. I mean, has he sort of got from what you were saying about his passing, it's sort of, I'm not sure if he plays in the same position, reminding me of someone like Adderwell, Toby. Does he spray the ball about like him? He does spray the ball.
Yeah, he does spray the ball like him. He can really ping in the long ball. Like you can see the switches stat, 2.6 switches per 90. Wow, that Arsenal Chelsea game is.
I was reading it. Well, while you were going through the stats, I was reading it going along the bottom. 2-2. What are we missing?
Wow, quite a bit it seems. But this is overall, like, what do you think about him? Do you think this is a player we should go after? Like, how do you see him compared to the other players?
Well,
maybe a lack of experience could be an issue with him.
He's only 22, but it's like you said, you get 2 for 1 because he, he can play in the defense. He can play that defensive midfield role. I mean, get him in, especially seeing as the price, and that is, it's
free transfer.
Definitely right. I believe he's straight.
And the wages are only 51K per week currently. He'll want a pay raise, but I don't think his wage demands will be anything.
The last one, that one. Well, but we got to see if he deserves. Well, I'm not a scout. I'm not the manager, so it's up to them. But from what you've said about him, I do sort of like the sound of him, especially seeing you
Yeah.
get the 2 for 1 option.
Yeah, yeah, that's the real reason I want him. I personally, compared to Paredes, I don't think he is as good currently, but in 2 or 3 years, he will be better than Paredes, and I'm pretty confident in that.
Yeah, but there we go. But there we go. That's
Yeah,
a bit like Kulu and Decky in it. I mean, they're fairly young. I mean,
yeah,
especially Kulu, he's only 21. I mean,
yeah,
what's he going to be like when he's 25?
and the finances in this deal would work out quite well for us. Free
Yeah,
transfer, low wage demands,
yeah,
but yeah, this I think this is like this could be the player that we really need. This is
yeah,
why I want him over Zaniolo, because Zaniolo primarily, although he's a future world beater, Zaniolo he primarily plays as a cam or a right wing,
yeah,
uh, you know, um, and I just think this is more what we need.
yeah,
Defensive midfielder,
yeah,
center back as well.
yeah,
He can do it all. He has amazing passing, and he's young. He fits the bill. Levy would love the wages. Levy will love the cost. No
yeah,
transfer fee.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think this is a deal that will make Spurs
yeah.
fans happy and
Well,
Levy happy as well.
well, me and you had the pleasure of doing the watch along on Saturday,
Hmm.
and that was, we all know how that turned out, and you know, and we knew we were doomed when the board went up and Harry Winks' number was on there.
Yeah,
What I said to you at the time is like, I mean, this is where we need bolstering or strengthening.
yeah,
You know,
in midfield.
yeah, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. Because if we can
Hmm.
get 1 or 2 in, we could even switch to the 3-5-2. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
because this is one of the criticisms I got, that it's this 3-4-3 at the moment, and that's plan A, and there's no plan B at all by the looks
Hmm.
of things, because we basically haven't got the staff to do it.
Yeah, I
It's like
agree.
I said, right at the beginning, you don't want players so you switch them out and it's like for like. You want someone that offers
Mhm.
something a bit different, and so we can play different ways. And so, what this man sounds perfect. He really
Yeah,
does.
I think this guy is better than Winks in every single possible conceivable way.
Well, I'm
Any
better
way
than
you can
Winks.
think of.
I'm better than Winks, and I'm rubbish.
I bet his wages are less than Winks too. I bet you that as well.
Yeah,
Like I'm serious in every single conceivable way. This guy is better than Winks. He's more versatile. He can play as a single pivot. Winks has to play in the 3-man midfield. This guy can play in
yeah,
a
yeah,
war
yeah,
in,
yeah,
as a single
yeah.
defensive pivot. He can play center back. He's younger. He has more upside. He's just way better.
You imagine
Yeah.
him in there on his own. You imagine Winks in there on his own.
Oh my
Goodness
god.
gracious. No,
Imagine
no,
Winks in a
it's not even worth
4-3-3
bothering.
as a
No,
Imagine
no,
Winks as like playing the Fabinho role at Liverpool,
no,
a
no.
single
Forget it.
pivot in a four three
Forget it.
three. My
Forget it.
God.
Forget it. It's not
But
happening.
yeah, this is the guy that I would take.
Yeah, yeah. Out of all of them that you've said so far, this is the one that sounds most sensible for the money
Yeah,
side, and sort of what we need, to be honest.
yeah, yeah. It's a sensible transfer, so we know Levy
Yeah.
won't do it.
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, you'll go for the younger, cheap. Well, you can't get cheaper than free, I know, but like
Yeah, yeah.
it's always the same way. Um,
Hmm.
the manager says, "I want player A," and he gets B, C, or D. That's cheaper and younger and
Hmm.
up and coming and half the cost, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm just afraid that United will come in for him
Yeah,
instead.
yeah. But
But we can.
if we can get the Champions League, though, that's more to offer, because Man United, well,
Yeah,
they might
yeah.
be in that conference thing that we were in.
Yeah, and another thing is that we could offer more playtime at Spurs because we need a center back and we need a midfielder.
Yeah, yeah,
United have the likes of Van de Beek, Lingard. I know Lingard is leaving, but they have Van de Beek bench warming for them. They're
yeah,
probably going to look to bring in someone like Ruben Neves or something like that.
yeah,
So I think we could offer him more playtime at Spurs along with
yeah,
Champions League football. So I
yeah.
think Spurs is a more attractive option
And the manager as
for
well. and the
Yeah, and
manager.
and
Uh,
manager as well. So
I mean,
yeah.
just the manager alone's got a big draw. I mean, because that,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot to ask. Which of the forwards would you like? Depay, Dybala, or Skamaka?
Oh, um, as I said at the time, Dybala, I think that ship sailed
Hmm.
3 or 4 years ago when we should have got him and we didn't. Um, oh, the one that played for Man United,
Depay.
Depay, yeah, maybe. And the other one
Yeah,
I've never heard of. So
Skamaka. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I think I would take Depay out of them.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
If Dybala for some reason wanted to join us, I would take him, but
yeah,
I think he's getting offers from Inter, I believe,
yeah,
Atletico Madrid. I believe United are after him. And
yeah,
the one, like, I know how we mentioned that Champions League football is more attractive, but for a guy like Dybala, who's nearing closer to the end of his career,
yeah,
he's 28. I think he's going to take the inflated salary that
yeah,
United give him,
yeah,
rather
yeah,
than so yeah, rather than what we have to offer. So
yeah,
I could see Dybala to United
yeah,
or Atletico or even Inter. I think those are more attractive options for him.
yeah, yeah. What?
But
Yeah, I was going to say, because you can virtually guarantee that Man United will offer more wages than we will.
oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, I think even Atletico would offer more wages than we would, and
Oh,
Inter as well.
yeah, yeah,
Possibly. I'm not
yeah,
sure. I don't know about so much about their finances, but yeah, I think he's gonna go for the money. Because
yeah,
if he can't get to an agreement with Juventus for his wages, I mean, God knows how much he's asking. Because I'm sure
well,
Juventus are off. We're paying him
yeah,
260K a week. So, how much more could he possibly want,
well,
right?
yeah. I mean, say he pushed up. Well, say they offered him 300. And you said he's still not taking that.
Yeah,
So there's no way we'd pay him that. So you just will forget him.
yeah. So I guess,
Yeah,
yeah, Depay and Kamara
yeah, yeah,
are the two players.
yeah.
I wouldn't mind Paredes either. And Zaniolo is a bit far-fetched, but we
Oh,
have
is
been
it?
linked with him quite a bit. We have been
Yeah,
linked with him quite a bit.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think it's gonna happen. It's gonna be like that Luis Diaz deal.
mm,
Maybe.
yeah,
But yeah, personally, I think Zaniolo will stay at Roma. I think the asking price will be quite high. Maybe next season he'll get his big move to maybe
yeah,
Real
yeah,
Madrid.
yeah,
I could see that
yeah,
happening with Zaniolo,
yeah.
but yeah, yeah. I guess that's all. I just wanted to let the viewers know. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
It was it was fun putting together the show, and sometime later. I don't have a date yet. I'm going to be going through the defenders and wingbacks and goalkeepers as well. So
Yeah,
there's a lot to look forward to.
yeah,
But yeah, I
yeah.
hope you guys learned something new. I
I
tried to
did.
keep it.
I did.
Yeah, I kept it realistic, as realistic
Yeah,
as possible. These are players. Maybe we could bring some of them in. I think Depay could really happen. I think
yeah,
Paredes is quite likely. So
yeah,
it's good to know what you're getting if we're bringing in quality and whatnot. So yeah, I hope you guys like the content, and I'll be preparing the center backs and the wing backs soon. I know there are positions we need, especially the right wing back. I have some
yeah,
names
yeah.
in mind that I think will be quite
We need
exciting.
two of them. We need two of them.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So yeah, I guess just tune in.
Hang on.
Thank you,
There's some chats. What's this?
Chris, wingback. Yeah, Chris. I'm gonna do the wingbacks sometime soon. I know we need some wingbacks. I have a
Yeah.
few names in mind. That we maybe you guys haven't heard of them. Some from
Ah.
Liga Nos in Portugal. Some from
Hey,
Serie A.
blimmin' hell.
As, yeah, some from Syria as well. Some really good players that we've been linked with. So yeah, I'll put it together, some
I
statistical
can
analysis.
contribute the one from Nottingham Forest. What I
Digit
hey,
Spence.
yeah, I was going to say that's how good I am. I couldn't even remember his name.
Oh yeah, he is a top player. I heard
Yeah.
Bayern want him actually.
Oh,
I
do
heard
that.
Bayern are
Oh,
interested
all right.
in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a top player, but yeah, there are a lot of options at right wing back and at center back as well. There's a lot of
Yeah.
names. Yeah, my knowledge of Serie A is quite quite high, like, or I guess more than other leagues. So there's a lot of Serie A center backs I know of. Serie A has a lot of good defenders, so yeah, I'll have a lot of names ready there.
Good. Good.
So yeah, I guess we'll end the stream. We're at an
Yes.
hour and a half. So yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for tuning in, Mark. It was good
Yeah.
getting your insights
No, that's
as
brilliant.
as well.
No. I
Yeah,
learned a lot.
yeah, for sure. We
Oh,
have Dermot hopping
Dermot's
on here.
joined. Hello, Dermot.
Hey, Dermot.
Yeah, hi. Just to let everyone know, we're back tomorrow morning at 1:00 with Mark and Bobby K. And then
Are we?
Izahn
Oh,
will
all
be
right.
back sometime over the weekend or before the weekend with another transfer show. I really enjoyed that.
Really?
Can we
Thanks.
buy all of them players, please?
Well, I don't. Well, based on the Levy budget, no.
No, definitely not. No.
Yeah.
But no, please.
I think I think Dybala, that ship sailed years ago.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Mark.
that ship's gone. It was in the port, but it rode off somewhere.
Mhm.
Well, as you probably know, but Skippy signed a new contract today, a new
Yes.
long-term contract.
Yes. 5-year
5 year
deal,
deal.
wasn't it? Was it 5
Yeah.
years?
Mhm.
50 grand a week.
Cool.
Awesome.
No. That's even still not a lot, is it?
No,
No.
it's not.
What
That's
you
good.
me earn a week, Mark? We earn that a week.
Well, I wish.
You mean a day?
A day, yeah. I wish to.
No, but you know, for how much he's give the team, that's not a lot, is it? Or no, he's only young, I know, but you know.
No, I think Winks gets paid more than him.
My God.
Well, anyway, thanks for everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you,
Yes.
Izahn. Thank you, Mark. We're
No
back in the
worries.
morning at 1
And
o'clock.
become a patron and all that stuff, wherever it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, you know, and we'll be back tomorrow at 1 with another show. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thanks. See you guys.
Cheers. Hey, you all right?